Happy Chanukah and welcome to Chanukah Together. It's really a pleasure to see everyone on this beautiful holiday of light, holiday of triumph, holiday of joy, holiday of happiness, and really holiday of light overcoming the darkness. It's amazing that we're all able to celebrate together, even though we feel so distant with everything we're going through. But of course, we know that Chanukah teaches us that wherever there's darkness, light is always the solution. The darkness could be more, it could be thicker, it could be darker, it could be worse than expected, it could be worse than some of us have ever seen. But the solution is always the same. The solution is still the light. Turn on a little bit of light and you will dispel the darkness. So that's what we're going to try to do tonight and all of Hanukkah. So please help by doing that together with us and lighting up the night, dispelling the darkness, each in our own way, each in our own home, and with the people around us. Actually, I find it meaningful that we're celebrating tonight on the very first night of Hanukkah, when Hanukkah just begins, and we start with that one solitary candle. I know this one's a little tall, but typically it's just one small candle. One small candle, what could that already do? What kind of difference could one candle make? It would be better when we're up to 6, 7, or 8. But actually, the real difference, the real breakthrough, the real achievement is when it's one candle. You see, the Lubavitch Rebbe explains that the Jewish people are compared to the moon, which, if you ever wondered why Hanukkah is always on a different date, and Passover is always on a different date, and everyone's always asking, when is it this year, and when is it next year? Because the Hebrew calendar goes on the lunar system, and it's always different, because the Jewish people are compared to the moon and count by the moon. The moon doesn't always shine. It's not always visible. It's always there, but it doesn't always look like it's doing so well. It starts to get smaller and smaller, and sometimes completely disappear at the end of the cycle. But we know it will be back. The Jewish people will be back, and through every kind of suffering and trouble we've been through, we somehow make it back around to shine again like the moon. But the real big deal, the real breakthrough, and the real achievement is not necessarily when the moon reaches the middle of the Jewish month, when the moon is full and shining brightly again, but maybe the real accomplishment is on that first night when you can see a little sliver in the sky, when the light overcame the darkness and it starts to shine again. And from there, we can keep growing and growing. So I find it especially meaningful this year that it turned out we're celebrating on the very first night of Hanukkah with that very first candle that's going to give us the light and help us overcome the darkness. So we have a special message, a video message from the Lubavitch Rebbe. This whole beautiful idea where we celebrate Hanukkah publicly, often in the village hall, like right here, or in another public square, and many people gather together in other years, or connect in more advanced ways, such as this year. This was something the Lubavitch Rebbe began and instituted and promoted, and just want everyone to see the beauty and the power that was in that kind of public and dramatic even celebration of Hanukkah. And 40 years ago, the Hanukkah celebration in 1980, the Lubavitch Rebbe wrote a letter blessing and inspiring the participants of the Hanukkah celebration. So we have this video that presents that letter actually as it's read by many different kind of people, many different backgrounds, many different ages, reminding us that Hanukkah and the message of light is for everybody at every age and every stage and every background and every situation. We all are a part of that message of light, and we all have that ability to bring the light and shine the light forward to the next one. So please pay attention. We'll have this beautiful blessing in the video.
The lighting of Hanukkah menorahs in public spaces was initiated by the Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, and gave rise to the now ubiquitous menorahs that stand in city squares, malls, and parks across the United States of America and the world. On the eve of Hanukkah in 1980, the Rebbe wrote a letter explaining the reasoning and inspiration of the public menorah.
To all participants in the public lighting of the Chanukah menorah in the USA, greeting and blessing.
Hanukkah, the festival of lights, recalls the victory, more than 2,100 years ago,
of a militarily weak but spiritually strong Jewish people over the mighty forces of a ruthless enemy
that had overrun the Holy Land and threatened to engulf the land and its people in darkness.
The miraculous victory, culminating with the dedication of the sanctuary in Jerusalem and the rekindling of the menorah,
which had been desecrated and extinguished by the enemy,
has been celebrated annually ever since during these 8 days of Hanukkah,
especially by lighting the Hanukkah menorah, also as a symbol and message of the triumph
of freedom over oppression, of spirit over matter, of light over darkness.
It is a timely and reassuring message, for the forces of darkness are ever present.
Moreover, the danger does not come exclusively from the outside. It often lurks close to home,
in the form of insidious erosion of time-honored values and principles
that are at the foundation of any decent human society.
Needless to say, darkness is not chased away by brooms and sticks, but by illumination.
Our sages said a little light expels a lot of darkness.
The Hanukkah light reminds us in the most obvious way that illumination begins at home.
Within oneself and in one's family, by increasing and intensifying the light of Torah and mitzvahs in the everyday experience, even as the Hanukkah lights are kindled in growing numbers from day to day.
But though it begins at home, it does not stop there. Such is the nature of light, that when one kindles a light for one's own benefit, it benefits also all who are in the vicinity.
Indeed, the Hanukkah lights are expressly meant to illuminate the outside,
symbolically alluding to the duty to bring light also to those who,
for one reason or another, still walk in darkness.
Rebbe, thank you, and happy Hanukkah.
Happy lighting Hanukkah.
Thank you, Rebbe.
It must be lighting on the outside also.
Thank you, Rebbe.
That is the message of Hanukkah.
Thank you.
The light on people's doors in such a manner that it will light the street around your home.
Thank you, Rebbe. I need it in my neighborhood.
Yes, very much bless you.
What is true of the individual is true of a nation, especially this great United States, united under God and generously blessed by God with material as well as spiritual riches.
It is surely the duty and privilege of this nation to promote all the forces of light,
both at home and abroad, and in a steadily growing measure.
Let us pray that the message of the Hanukkah lights will illuminate the everyday life of everyone personally and of the society at large,
for a brighter life in every respect, both materially and spiritually.
With esteem and blessing in the spirit of Hanukkah, M. Schneerson.
So hopefully we're all absorbing that blessing and that message and all kindling the light and sharing the light forward. This Hanukkah, as we celebrate together, we're going to try to do something that might be a little tricky, but it's going to be very together. We'll try to actually light the menorah together. Now, if you've already kindled your menorah, don't do it again. You would leave that for tomorrow, and remember on Friday we do that before sundown. But if you have not yet kindled your menorah for tonight, you might want to get it set up, because as we begin to kindle the menorah, we're going to try to do that together. So I'm just going to explain kind of the order of how we're going to do this. We're going to have the privilege of having the mayor join us. Mayor Norris has always made a point of celebrating Chanukah with us and has done whatever he could possibly do to make sure that this year we can celebrate as well, and we're all grateful for that. We're going to have the mayor light the first candle, the shamish, the candle that lights the others. Then we'll hear a Chanukah message. Following that, I'm going to ask the rabbi, my father, Rabbi Natek, to make the blessings. There are 3 blessings we read tonight, 2 on the rest of the nights. To make those blessings loudly, clearly, slowly, for everybody to read them and say them together. So if you have your menorah ready, and you might have one in your little Chanukah box, you might have a menorah that looks like this. Not very difficult to set up if you can open the box. And that menorah gets set up with 1 shamish serving candle on top and the first candle on the right. Most menorahs work similarly. You always want to start with the first candle on the right. And as soon as we all have our menorahs set up for tonight, we will be able to begin with lighting the shamish, the beginning candle, following with the process as I mentioned, the Chanukah message, the lighting of the main candle with those blessings, following which we'll have the traditional music, which gives us a chance to reflect on the candles. And then we have our special feature where we'll go around the neighborhood and hear some of you share Chanukah with us. So without any further ado, I'm going to ask Mayor Norris to light that candle and then share some Chanukah greetings.
Well, good evening, everyone. I will try to be short this evening because there's no way I can say anything after the words that the rabbi has said or the letter that we've heard read tonight. I will have to disagree, though, in one item. The privilege is mine to have been here. If ever there was a time that we needed light, it is now with the season that we've gone through for the last 10 months. We all need some light to come into our lives. So I am very honored and pleased to be able to be here. My only sadness this evening is that this will be my last time as the mayor of Riverwoods to be able to share this evening with you. So may God bless all of you, and please accept the blessing of light.
Thank you, Mayor Norris. I really thank you for being the mayor to bring the menorah to the Village Hall some years ago. And I'm not sure we're going to be able to celebrate Chanukah quite the same next year because Mayor Norris is making the way for somebody else to continue in his footsteps and lead our village. But we do want to thank the mayor for his service, from what we all can see, from the attentiveness and really looking out for the village on an individual and general level for all these, I believe, 8 years. So thank you on behalf of our community, on behalf of all our neighbors, and much luck and success in all your future pursuits. At this time, I'm going to ask the rabbi to share a few words, and then we'll begin with the blessings of lighting the menorah. I see many of you have lit your shamash, your lighting candle, and that is beautiful. And it's so nice to see it all together on the screen. Thank you for showing us your menorahs and sharing that light.
I'd like first to thank Rabbi Shalom and Sarala for organizing this event tonight. Especially, I'd like to thank our mayor, Mayor Norris, and the special message that you have pointed out in just your briefings, which is that Hanukkah is always very meaningful, but it is especially meaningful this year as we're going through our challenges. Which I'd like to share with you is that Hanukkah has a special message for us this year. because just like then, Jews did whatever they can, and they were able to do that because they were able to reawaken the essence of their soul. And as you heard from Rabbi Shalom, it was just a small light, but it was a very powerful light. It was a light of putting themselves on the line to do that. And this year, as you heard the message of the Rebbe, the light of Hanukkah is coming to your homes. As this year especially, we're lighting the Hanukkah menorah together. As I will make the blessings, I'm going to ask each and every one of you to repeat after me, and we will all say the blessings. I would like to wish each and every one of you a happy Hanukkah, and that the Hanukkah should bring light into each and everyone's home, each and everyone's family, and to the entire community. I want to wish each and everyone good health, and physical and mental health, and nachas from the families, and prosperity, and that together we should be able to get over this difficult time and be ready to greet Mashiach speedily in our days.
Okay, so we'll begin with lighting the menorah. As I mentioned, if you did not light your own, please do it together with us now. You can actually repeat the blessing word for word after my father. And if you look carefully on the screen behind the menorah, you'll see a larger screen with many of your faces. I know it's a bit unclear, the screen within the screen, but that shows all of us watching together as the menorah is lit and lighting together. So we'll try to unify this moment and bring it together as much as we can. And without any further ado, we'll begin with the blessings.
I will go slower, and please repeat after me. And after we finish the three blessings, those of you that are going to be lighting, please light them after the blessing. So say it together with me, please. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvosov v'tzivos.
Baruch atah Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav.
Sorry about that. Here we go again. I was mute, but I was trying to thank the rabbi, my father, for giving us the light and lighting the candle. And as the Lubavitch Rebbe taught us, we should be listening to the lights, listening to the candles, besides for looking at them, of course, would mean to hear their message and to appreciate what they are telling us. And that's why in Hasidic tradition, we play a special tune known as Haneros Halalu, these candles, these lights, telling the story and giving us the chance to reflect on what the candles mean to each and every one of us. Before we do that, I just wanted to show something that I found meaningful and I found to be really underscoring the message of the lights and the message of the candles and the resilience of the Jewish people that it shows. So if you look carefully on the screen, you will see this most unique, strange photograph. This is an actual photograph, and you see a menorah in the window, as is the custom in many Jewish communities. But looking out that window, you'll see a flag with none other than the hated Nazi symbol, a symbol of intolerance, fascism, and unfortunately, genocide. This is an actual photograph. This was taken in Germany, in the city of Kiel, if I pronounce that right, in 1932. So Hanukkah of 1932 would be just mere weeks before the election of the Nazi Party to the actual power in Germany. Sorry about that. What's the story behind this picture? In this picture, it was Hanukkah, the candles had been lit, and a woman, her name was Mrs. Posner, she was the wife of the town's rabbi, noticed that her menorah went right in line, straight out the window with that swastika. Somehow she had a camera in 1932, and she got a picture of that. But she didn't stop there. She wrote something on the back of that picture. And you can read that here, because this picture still exists. It's in Israel, in Yad Vashem. And those are the words in German. I'm not going to try to read them, but they're translated here to the left. And she writes, Chanukah 5692, which would be the Hebrew year, which is 1932. Death to Judah, so the flag says. Judah will live forever, so the light answers. She understood that the flag's message would be death to Judah, death to the Jewish people. And unfortunately, for more than a decade after that time, that's exactly what the flag was doing. And we all paid that price. But the light answers, this is not going to be the end of the story. The light says, the candle says, Judah will live forever. The Jewish people cannot be destroyed. The Jewish people will not be eliminated. We will continue to persevere and continue to share that message of light with ourselves, with our families, with the world around us until we reach that better time, the world of light, the world of the Mashiach. So I think that this is a really powerful message of resilience for each of us when we contemplate whatever challenges, whatever hardships there might be, whatever darkness we might encounter, and there's been plenty of that, to think about the power of that light and the power of the lights that say, Judah will live forever, we will overcome this darkness. So as we play the Haneros Halalu, and you hear that special meditative tune, take those moments to think about the lights and think about this enduring message of the Jewish people. And we're ready to begin Haneros Halalu.
Haneros Halalu Haneros Halalu Haneros Halolu Onu Madlikin Achubuis Sheyosiso Lavoiseinu Bayomi mohem bizman hazeh Bayomim ohem bizman hazeh bizman hazeh Al yedei koyanecho hagedoshim 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 Bechol shmoy nasem Chanukah neiris alolu koydeshem Bechol shmoy nasem Chanukah neiris alolu koydeshem V'yeilonu rishus leishtamesh bohem Hello Liloiso Bilavovo Kidei Lehoidois Ulahalen Lehoidois Ulahalen Leshimcho HaGodoin Lehoidois Ulahalen Lehoidois Ulahalen Leshimcho HaGodoin Al Nisecho V'yal Nifle Oisecho V'yal Yeshua Oisecho Al Nisecho V'yal Nifle Oisecho V'yal Yeshua Oisecho Al Nisecho V'yal Nifle Oisecho V'yal Yeshua Oisecho
So the lights are shining, and we've done it right. We even sang the tune, Aneru Salalu. We might each be in our own homes, but we really are together, connected in the same thought, in the same kavana, as we say in Hebrew, in the same intent, the focus, the meditation, the appreciation of the light of Chanukah. But on that note, I do want to say l'chaim, to celebrate Chanukah. And you can do the same if you have some kosher wine or any other l'chaim. Don't overdo it. It's Chanukah, it's not Purim. Say a l'chaim to celebrate this special holiday, to celebrate this message of endurance of the Jewish people, and really to feel that happiness no matter what might come our way. L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam b'orei b'yakov. At this point, as part of the togetherness, we'd like to really celebrate together. And therefore, we're going to go around town a little bit. And instead of the Zoom camera being spotlighted on me right here, we're going to spotlight some of you to share your menorah and to share something special about Chanukah, or even just to say hello. So we're going to call out some of you, but please do step up and mention and say that you'd like to do the same, and we'll call you next in line. So please enjoy as we introduce ourselves, introduce each other, and connect and really celebrate Chanukah together. As we begin, I'd like to call on the Cohen family, Yaron and Ariel Cohen, to share a Chanukah message and to share their menorah. So while we wait, I'm going to ask Marianne Weiss if you can show us your menorah and share a Hanukkah message. You are spotlighted. Hi, Scott. Hi, Marianne. It's great to see you.
Here's our menorah. And we just want to say, we want to wish everyone a happy Hanukkah. We're so grateful that we're able to still gather through Zoom because all of us really can't be with our families right now. And so this is a wonderful way for all of us to be together. We're very grateful. We're very grateful that there is a vaccine that is coming to help all of us so that we can all have our lives back soon. We're just grateful for our health too, and just to be here together with all of us. So happy Hanukkah.
And happy Hanukkah, and thank you. That was really beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was really a pleasure to see you and celebrate with you. Before we continue going around town, I'd like to
You
go
wanna get it again, or?
in a slightly different way. If you look here, well, that's the wrong way. You'll see a video of a menorah, but that menorah is not right here. That menorah is just around the corner on the other side of the neighborhood. But first, we're gonna have to correct the way that's showing up because it's showing sideways. Give me a moment here. And so here we are at the menorah, the giant menorah, right off the corner of Deerfield and Milwaukee, outside the Elevate Care Nursing Home. This giant menorah bringing light to the neighborhood and light to the residents of this home will be guiding us through Hanukkah as we add light each and every night. We'll begin right now with that very first light for the very first Hanukkah candle this evening. And there we go, lighting up the night. Hanukkah is ready to begin. Follow us each night as the light increases. Happy Hanukkah. So you did see that menorah, and it did have too much l'chaim, so it did come out sideways. Flipping that didn't really last very long, but that was the giant menorah we have up right off Deerfield and Milwaukee outside the nursing home, and sharing its message of light to the people in the home, the people passing by, and it's really also a helpful way to see what night we're up to. So if you're passing by that side of the neighborhood, that might be a good idea. Now, if you look at this menorah, you may recognize this. You can only see the top of the house behind it, but this is an even taller giant menorah, lit right just today for the first night, right outside of Thorngate on Saunders Road. So when you pass by, you know it's Hanukkah, and you know what night we're on. So whichever way you go, make sure Hanukkah comes with you. We're going to continue going around town, and I'm going to ask Shiri Goldstein, Shiri Erlich, I'm sorry, to share your menorah and to share your thoughts about Hanukkah.
Shalom, Chag Sameach. I just want to say that we're very grateful to be here, and we're very happy to be a part of this evening. And that's it. I wish everyone good health and Chag Sameach. And I hope you see our menorah. Thank you.
Thank you, and happy Hanukkah to you. Anybody else? You can speak up by unmuting, raise your hand, send the chat. Let us know you'd like to share. We'd like to hear from you. I'm going to ask Linda to share a Chanukah thought, and I'm going to actually thank Linda for all of her help leading up to this celebration. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Happy Hanukkah, everyone. I just wanted to especially say Happy Hanukkah to my son who's watching in Arlington, Virginia. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Now we all got to be really on our best behavior because they're watching us in Virginia. Nobody knows what they're up to. But we'll try. And happy Hanukkah again. Anybody else? Please don't be shy. We all love to hear each other and to feel that connection. Meanwhile, many of you may have gotten a box that looks like this with Hanukkah kind of packaged inside. I'm going to ask the person behind it, which happens to be my wife, to show us what's inside and how to best make use of it.
Hi everyone, happy Hanukkah. It's really nice to see you all. We've been in touch in various ways, but it's nice to at least virtually come together and feel the spirit of all of us joining in the lighting. So hopefully you've received one of these boxes. If for some reason you haven't and you'd like one as well, please get in touch with us. We'll be happy to drop one by you. There's still another 7 nights to go. So let's see what's inside. We have a beautiful Hanukkah guide with some interesting tidbits, inspirational ideas, and of course, lots of practical explanations about how to celebrate Hanukkah and the different customs that we follow. You obviously have the menorah, which many of you have already used. If you have your own menorah at home and you'd like to pass this on to somebody else who needs one so they can also share the mitzvah, that's another wonderful option that you can do. Of course, we have the delicious fresh sufganiyot, jelly donuts, fried in oil. Another way we commemorate the miracle of the oil, aside for lighting a menorah, which we can also do with oil. We eat fried foods, one of which is traditionally donuts. So whether or not you're watching the calories, I hope you'll at least have a taste and take part in this enjoyable tradition of Hanukkah. And then over here, we have a little bag in which we've included some dreidels and the chocolate coins. So the dreidels, we are familiar with this game that we play on Hanukkah, which reminds us of how the Jewish people, the young children actually risk their lives to continue studying Torah, even though it had been forbidden by the Greeks, by the Syrian Greeks. And they hid in caves, and when they heard the soldiers coming to see what was happening, they quickly hid their scrolls and pulled out these tops, these dreidels, and pretended to play a game, and make it look like they were just gathering to have some innocent fun. So we have the dreidel with the 4 sides, Nun, Gimel, Hey, and Shin. For Nes Gadol Haya Sham, a great miracle happened there. Of course, in Israel, they have Nun, Gimel, Hey, and Pei, which means Nes Gadol Haya Po, a great miracle happened here. Now, for the chocolate coins, they're for you to enjoy, and they're also a symbolic representation of another special custom that we have, which is related to children specifically, but you can do it with your friends as well. The word Chanukah is related to the word chinuch, which means education. And since educating and passing on traditions and values to the next generation is very important, we want to recognize our children's effort, and we also want to encourage their effort. So we take the opportunity to reward them with gifts of money over the course of Hanukkah. So that's another nice special tradition. And then finally, we've included a nice little simple project for you to enjoy. This is a nice activity for all ages. You can decorate this greeting card, and again, to share the spirit of the holiday, you can write a letter to somebody that you love or care about or want to show you're thinking about them and send it off to them. The instructions should be either in your box or taped to the back of the card. So I hope the contents of this box will help you celebrate with those around you, with your family, and enjoy the holiday. Wonderful to see everyone, and I'm praying and looking forward to seeing you all in person and being able to wish and celebrate as we are used to doing. And in the meantime, happy Hanukkah.
Thank you. So when I see the donuts, I can't help but thinking about the Jew who collected antiques, antique Judaica. And he had a silver menorah that they used in Spain during the Inquisition, and a beautiful dreidel that had its roots in Germany centuries back, and more and more. And he had a beautiful Hanukkah party at home. Lots of people came, must have been before COVID. And he's showing off all his pieces. Look at this menorah, centuries of history, the dreidel, the Kiddush cup, whatever he had, everything was older than old. Until finally somebody says, but those donuts, how old are they? But don't worry, the donuts in your box were baked on the day they were delivered to you. So please enjoy them right away. They don't last very long. So it's Hanukkah, make the most of it. Before we go on to the dreidel and the dreidel game, which we can't do Hanukkah without, I'd like to introduce what's really going to be our next course, a special course we're going to be doing in the very beginning of February and going 6 weeks from then. I'll never forget coming in to teach a class, an ongoing class, and a woman comes in, one of the students, before she could even sit down, she says, Rabbi, do Jews believe in the afterlife? I said, what's going on? Where does that question come from? What do you mean? Anyway, obviously, people don't come back from there, but it's always been a mystery, and a mystery in many cultures. What happens to the soul? Is there a soul? What is the life of the soul beyond the life as we know it, that we experience together? So it's going to be an interesting discussion, a healthy dose of Kabbalah, but an even greater dose of practical relevance for our lives here from what we learn about the life of the soul even after the time of the physical life. That course is called Journey of the Soul, and I'm going to use a video again to introduce it. This time, I believe the video will be right side up, but we will see. So don't be afraid to join if you're not that great at riding that bicycle. You'll just be like me. And as you see here, we do this in two options. In person with careful social distancing, we do that on Mondays. That's going to start February 1st. But the space is limited because not a lot of space to keep everybody distant. So let us know early if that's how you want to join. And I believe most of us would like to join online. We do that on Zoom, but it's a very engaging and interactive conversation. After all these months, we figured out how to finally do it right on Zoom, shall I say. So Zoom is Zoom, but it's almost as if we were in person. You see the address here where you can actually sign up. It's not too early to sign up now, or just send me a message in any which way you wish that you would like to join. With that, I believe we're ready for the dreidel game. Now, this is going to be quite a bit of an experiment, shall I say, to actually successfully play dreidel on Zoom. I looked around, and surprisingly, this many months I've lost track since March or so that we're all Zooming all the time. Nobody's created a software to run a dreidel game on a virtual platform like that. So we've had to come up with it on our own. And as you see here, the dreidel will each spin. You actually have a dreidel in the box or any other dreidel that you might prefer. We'll each spin that dreidel at home, going around, taking those turns, but we'll keep track of everybody's little plot while in one central space. You see it here on the screen called dreidel. So the dreidel game is just about to begin, and that's going to be our last night. It's been a pleasure, real pleasure to see so many of your faces and your families and your menorahs. It's really beautiful. So to start the dreidel game, we need to know who wants to take If you have a dreidel and you'd like to spin it, you hold it up in the air. I see Mark. I'm going to ask Mark. Mark, please spin your dreidel. We're ready, Mark.
Okay, here it goes.
We're ready.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
All right, foul ball.
Yeah, I'm allowed to do that. It's one strike. Two.
It's tough doing it on the table.
I'm using another one. This guy better. He was recruited by the Cubs. There you go. Okay, shin.
And that is a shin. I'm afraid that means we're going to have to take 2 coins out of your pile and donate it to the jackpot. But don't give up. You might do better on the next spin. And I do want to thank Mark for doing that the right way, which would be to show your dreidel in the camera so we can all see. Who's going to go next? I see Shiri. Do you want to spin?
Yeah, hi. My son would like to.
And it's spinning and it's spinning and it's spinning. And this is a little boy who knows how to spin.
Shin. Again.
Sorry?
Shin.
Shin, all right, you're gonna pay a little bit of tax, but don't worry, it's not the worst thing. And we're ready for the Weisses. Please take a spin. Hopefully we can actually see that dreidel spin.
Hold spin.
Oh,
Wait. Okay, go ahead.
hold on.
What is it? Okay, we
Oh.
got none.
Okay, well, Nun keeps you neutral, and so you're safe, but you gotta keep spinning and hopefully get that gimel.
All right.
So spin again?
Next time around.
Okay,
Who's
wait.
gonna take the next shot? I know some people want to spin again to get the gimel. I see drawer family. All right, we are ready. We are ready for your dreidel. Here?
I gotta check that turkey.
Shin, jackpot's getting rich tonight. Here, stay with us.
We gotta get
You
that.
can still get a gimel. Who's
Why?
gonna go next?
That's how you win.
Oh. Oh, so it spins until, that's,
Nun means neutral, shin you pay. I
Oh.
forgot what hay is.
so you gotta keep spinning till you.
Any volunteers?
Get with the
It's not that difficult, but it's okay if you want to do it privately too. Well, then I'm going to spin the dreidel. Let's see if we can get this on the camera.
Spin or not?
You want to do it?
Sure.
And here we go. And it's a nun. Nun on the large dreidel, so I guess nothing for me today. Who's going to be next?
You want to do it? Okay.
Well, before we say that, oh yes, Linda, we're ready. Now that's a wise way to do it.
Tablet.
Hey, all right, Hey gets half the jackpot. Today's Linda's day. Mazel tov to you. Who's next? I guess since some of us don't want to play,
I'll do it again.
Mark will go again.
Okay.
We're ready.
Let's see if the Cubs still want me. Ah, fell off the table. But it's a Gimel.
Gimel for Mark, Mazel tov. Well, you'll get all everybody's taxes. Someone's got to take them.
Okay.
Well, now that someone got a Gimel, maybe more of us want to try. It's a good luck night.
I gotta pay taxes on it.
Who's next? Show us your dreidel, raise your hand, or just call out. I see the Ehrlich family. We're ready for you. We're ready. You can spin. Hey? All right, half a pot for two brothers in a partnership. Now you got to split it with each other, but good job for you. And anybody else? You're not going to have a lot of chances left because we're going to have to let everybody go soon. So if you want to spin, don't be shy.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't hear you. Is that
Hey.
Hey? Hey for the Dor family. They'd like to catch up on the collection. Beautiful. And I think the next spin will be our last spin for the night. Who's going to take it? Let's see that. All right. And we have the champion ready to spin again, sharing it with his sister. Go ahead, please. You missed that. What did it land on? Sorry? Listening carefully. What did it land on? Gimel. Beautiful, Gimel. 3 cheers to you. Thank you. All right. I am going to, before we all disappear, we're going to try to remember to keep Hanukkah and to keep its togetherness with us, the togetherness we experience right now, and against the odds, we were able to celebrate together. I want to thank everybody that was a part of that, everybody that helped make that happen. Starts with the mayor and goes on to the Rabbi and Rebbitzin, my parents, Linda, and Rabbi Label, who's not here, but has been a big help. So thank you to all. And l'chaim, for a happy Hanukkah, for a happier year, for better news ahead, and that we celebrate the next Hanukkah, as we always say, next year in Jerusalem. L'chaim.
Okay.
And let this be our reminder that Hanukkah only just began. We have to keep kindling the menorah every night, but tomorrow, which is Friday, make sure that's before sundown. So by 4 o'clock, your menorah should be already burning. Better not light the menorah than light it after dark on Friday. Other than that, for the rest of the nights, we do it after dark. So it's complicated enough, but the main thing is try to spread the light, try to share the light, share it together, hold on to it, and let's carry it through the year. I'm going to go on to the gallery view so we can all see each other and turn on the music. If anybody still wants to wish someone else well before signing off for the night. And it's really been a pleasure. Happy Hanukkah.